Hmm.
Friend in the hat. What sort of music you making?
Hi.
Hello. I make a lot of different kinds of music. I make Riff Raff, the rapper.
Word.
I make a lot of like
Uh,
satirical music and silly music, but also I have serious
That's
music.
not what I
So
wanted to do. Oh, hey, look, it's four of us.
yeah. So I make like rap, pop, metal, country, like a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I'm basically strictly hip hop myself.
What subgenres do you do?
There's a whole world inside
Honestly,
of hip hop, man. That's
I'm
that's
getting a
something a lot of
call.
people don't
I'll have to
understand
catch
about the
over.
genre of hip hop. It's like there's a lot going on inside of that genre. There's a
It's
lot of different things you could fucking do.
definitely, yeah. Like I do cloud rap, trap, drill, old school underground. I do a lot of different stuff. Like trap metal.
Word. I've never gotten into metal that much. All my friends are metal. I'm a musician myself. I'm a guitarist. All my
Ooh,
friends
nice.
are big metal heads, and I've never had a heavy bone in my body like that. I've never.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen to like a wide variety of music. Like I listen to like from opera to country to metal to rap. It's like crazy.
All right, so this is gonna be a big conversation then right here.
hmm
Uh, who's a country artist you can respect right now?
Like who's my favorite ones or what new generation ones do I appreciate?
I would say right now, actually, I want to answer to both those questions. Who would be some of your favorites, and who would be somebody you could appreciate out of the new generation? Because especially this new generation of country music for the last I don't know 30 years, shit's been
hmm
getting really gross. But there's
hmm
also some cool shit on the forefront.
Yeah, I feel country, before I answer that question, country is very much like metal and rap. Like over the years, it's changed. Um, and I feel back in the day it was better musically, like artistically, stuff like that. And now, the more years that progress, it becomes a lot more artificial, I'd say is the best way. Not better or worse exactly, but artificial. So, like
Oh,
with
yeah,
production quality and like instrumentals, etc., and the way they present themselves. But to answer your question, mainly listen to like um, good country music, and same with like rap and stuff like that. And with country music, I'd say like Randy Travis, Johnny Cash, Garth Brooks, um,
yeah.
and then certain underground ones like Jeff Bates. I don't know if you know him. And then also I for like closer to modern day, I like Josh Turner a lot. Um,
Josh Turner's got an old
What's
school
up,
voice,
guys?
and one thing that
what's
appeared interesting
happening, man?
about Turner
Hey, you
is
guys should
that
follow me on
he
Instagram.
kept
I'm
it
going
as
live
real as he
tonight.
could, and then he got out of
What?
the industry pretty fast. He
mhm.
wasn't around for a very long time in the spotlight, and I
You
think a
said you're
big
doing
reason
what?
for that is he didn't want to
I
he
said
didn't
I'm
want to play
going
that
live
fucking
tonight
game.
on Instagram. You guys should follow me.
What do you do that I should follow you, man?
Have you gotten into Childers yet?
Who?
Tyler Childers.
Oh yeah,
Right now,
yeah. I love him.
I I've I haven't listened to country music in about the better half of a decade,
hmm
and and guys like Sturgill and Tyler coming out of Eastern Kentucky. A lot of
hmm
the really good writing is coming out of there for the country music genre right now.
Yeah. Like
It's a lot of faith in live instrumentation and earnest songwriting, which is something that, especially in the modern era, country could have a place to stand, a leg to stand on that's huge. But they choose to just pick up truck. They turn the props into the play. They want to just talk. They want to pick up truck at the death and talk about the moonlight and the girl. And it's like, man, this shit sucks.
yeah.
It blows, man. It's you turn the props into play. These motherfuckers don't know the first thing about living in rural culture. They don't know what it's
Literally.
like to be an actual redneck.
And it's the same thing also with rap, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are just rapping just for like money, fame or whatever, but there's ones back in the day that actually make art to it and like stories or stuff they lived, you know what I mean?
the equivalent in hip hop would be guys that talk about being really gangster but actually aren't.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of these tight jean wearing modern country fuckers, they don't know the first. They have never hunted and killed their own food. They've never raised a garden. They've never canned their own food. They've never made a quilt. They don't have good connections with their families. It's like they don't know the first. They don't
Anything.
drive a pickup truck. It's like
They
they
don't know
don't have
anything.
the first connection with rural culture, and it's insulting because
So
rural
it's
culture
like-
gets enough hate.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's
Something I wanted represented by.
It's like that
these
one
fuckers.
dude, honestly, because this is the only country song I know because fucking people were playing it on here. But that
Mhm.
one song where they were just like, I want to buy me a truck or whatever.
Buy me a boat or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, it's shit like that. It's like,
That dude probably has a whole garage full of supercars, I bet. Not a single truck in it.
oh yeah, well, you know, he probably
Maybe
has
at
one
least
really
like one.
big,
I was gonna
one
say,
big,
yeah,
jacked up, really pretty.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe at least like one, but it's probably like a garage full of supercars.
Yeah.
It's like these guys have ever thrown an empty can of Bush Light into the bed of their truck, and I know it.
Yep.
They haven't smoked a fucking Camel in their lives.
Also another thing too is you got to keep in mind a lot of those country artists, mainstream ones, they don't write their lyrics. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
That's like fucking some rap artists nowadays, like Drake. He has a whole fucking team of fucking people writing this shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and the hip hop industry though, that's like looked at as like a bad thing. Like people
Yeah, that is
shit on
terrible.
Drake.
That is absolutely terrible. And I honestly don't understand why Drake is still considered to be one of the top artists up there. Like, he's not even an actual artist. He's practically a figurehead for like 5 different artists.
Yeah, man, it sells, dude. He's really pretty.
Also, another important thing that people don't realize is there's a lot of rappers nowadays that don't have too much talent. It's what they're relying on is the production quality. So like
Yeah.
like the beats and
I
stuff
was
like that.
actually saying that myself the other day. Like, basically how most rappers do it nowadays. And that's why I like hip hop rather than rap, because most rappers, it's just like the producer does 75% of the work while the rapper's doing like 25.
Yep.
And hip hop, it's usually 50-50.
Mhm.
Because you gotta have a good beat. You just do, especially if it's hip hop. You gotta have something that, and the definition of what makes good beat is, I mean, you can't really put a good definition on that, but it has to take, it's that 50-50 thing that you were just saying. It's got to take the excellence of the lyrics to that place.
Exactly.
And at the same time, the excellence of the lyrics have to take the beat to that place. It's exactly that. It's a 50-50 thing. What I'd like to see more of is, and I think hip hop still has it, where there's still guys that will work with one particular producer and let everyone know it. Like, yeah, no, and this is my dude that makes the beats.
Yeah, I do that myself, honestly. I'd have one producer I mostly go to for my beats. And if I'm usually working outside of that, it's just like, honestly, sometimes I feel kind of iffy because, like, you can't really trust all the other producers, mostly because, like, you got these producers that only deal with these wannabe mainstream SoundCloud rappers that basically want to auto-tune the fuck out of their shit 24/7. And they just expect everybody to want that shit. So, like, I don't want to go into their booth and then they do that shit to me and I got the shit tracked now.
You
At
know,
the same time,
the ghostwriter thing could be handled. You know, back in like the 70s, a lot of those rock and pop artists, they had songwriters, and it wasn't like they had a ghostwriter. Like Elton John had a songwriter. He had a full-on relationship with this guy. It's like, he's like a part of the band. It's like, this guy's the lyricist, and there was something a little bit more, because he was honest about it and right up front with it. It's just like, yeah, no, I sing and I play piano and this guy writes lyrics. Well, nowadays it's like, no, I'm the best. I'm the best. And I did this shit. And then it's like, no, actually somebody else wrote everything and you didn't play the instrument. The Grateful Dead was like that too. The Grateful Dead had a lyricist.
Sure.
And the Grateful Dead are legendary.
Hello.
Yeah, and most of their songs were written by this dude that was a poet that wrote around.
How can
the
I
band.
put phone call? This.
What?
What did he say?
Name or something?
I just don't understand people on Omegle that have their music loudly on. It's just annoying.
Word.
Like, how are you supposed to hear them? How are you supposed to talk to them? Like,
I actually say that a lot too. Like, these people know nothing of volume control.
Yeah, and your music sounds like shit because you have it turned
Yeah.
up so it's loud for you.
And then on top
And
of
so
that,
it's-
it's usually trash music anyway, so it usually just sounds like shit anyway.
yeah. But no, music is definitely interesting.
I went on the other day. I listened to one of his songs, so it came on my mind. I was like, "What the fuck's this guy up to?" And I went to Kendrick Lamar's Instagram. What the hell is that guy up to nowadays, man? Anybody know?
Nah.
It doesn't seem like Kendrick's doing shit now.
Well,
I mean,
feel
he made the whole soundtrack to Black Panther. If you didn't know
Was that like 2 years ago now? Is that like 2 years or more?
that's
ago
like
now?
three or 4 years ago at this point. I think
I was gonna say that's probably
3.
yeah, probably.
That was well after he made Damn.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Kendrick did that, or was that all Black? I didn't listen to it. Did Black Hippie do that, or was it just Kendrick?
No, I think it was Kendrick. Just Kendrick.
The Black Hippie thing was really cool for a little bit, and it seems like that's not really an idea anymore. But
Yeah.
I like hip hop groups. That idea is cool to me. I like because it usually produces some pretty neat results.
Yeah.
So I was digging watching the whole thing with Absol and Schoolboy and Kendrick and all those guys working.
Yeah, agree.
No. If I could actually find somebody that was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I feel with
Some shit that only happened in like the 90s, you know? It's like, oh, guys could actually get together and like be able, and a lot of them had talent and a lot of them were like able to fucking work with somebody.
mhm.
You know what I mean? A lot of guys now, especially if they have talent, a lot of those guys are really talented. They can't even work with others too well.
I feel it's a few things. One, people are used to the culture that nobody really does rap groups anymore. Two, back in the day, like the 90s and stuff like that, it would typically be a thing where you would have to get like record labels' attention. And I feel they would be more interested in that than only single artists. Versus nowadays, you can make it as like an independent artist or make it other ways. And then another thing too, there was one more point I had towards it. Oh yeah, that artists I feel are selfish and rely on, not all. I'm saying a lot of rap artists nowadays, local ones and stuff like that. They're selfish and trying to focus on getting fame for themselves and money, and they don't want to be able to rely on others, and they want to. Be free with their production and like making of music, and they rely on like featured artists, you know what I mean, rather than depending on other group members. So only like different, there's a new kind of generation style of group artists, which they're like kind of group, kind of independent. It's like what, like 3 letters at the beginning of their rap name, you know what I mean. You know those rappers like NLE Chopper, but I don't think he has other people that have that first like 3-letter acronym. But there's other artists that they have.
Collectives and things like that. I've seen that where
Yeah, like-
local guys have band together and formed like they call
There's
it a
like
collective.
YBN Corday.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Where like they're like a very loose group. Um, but I guess that like helps brand themselves, but also doesn't contract them to relying on um, producing content with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, especially since I've always been I'm not a hip hop artist by any regard. I can cover some hip hop if it's for a gig, but I prefer to stay inside my wheelhouse. But
Mhm.
for a while now, I've been a solo artist, and it was easier for money that way. I was able to get
Mhm.
more gigs that way. It was easier. But subsequently, I've been writing music as a solo artist as well. And
Mhm.
I've been itching lately to work with a band because there's a certain type of dynamic that there's a certain type of art that you can only achieve when you are negotiating with other people to produce it. You know,
Mhm.
like there's certain art that you can only produce when you're left alone.
Mhm.
There's certain art that you only produce when you're working with other people because they have characters to themselves that inspire and bring out things in you that you would never tap into directly because you don't think to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm itching for it
Hopefully.
right now. As soon as COVID's up, I want to put together a band. I don't know if it'll be my main focus. I'll still probably have a solo thing going on, but I want to write music with a band and see what I can do with it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's what I'm gonna. I've I've made a number of songs with other people, but I wanna like when the pandemic ends, especially, is when I'm gonna like reach out to artists that are like in
Oh,
my
what's up, my
state,
boys?
and then start making like music videos and stuff like that. And then also being able to get some of their small fan bases or whatever. But um,
I just want to get gigging again, man. I like studio recording. I like getting my
Hello.
content out there. It's really cool knowing that other people can find it. But for me, it's always been about performance first. I've always
that's
cared
fair.
more about just playing small shows and having that organic fun than.
Hmm.
But subsequently, I
Cheers.
don't get to watch the prospects of my career go up in a legitimate way. So it's not like I haven't invested a bunch of time on my internet presence, which that's where careers happen nowadays. So I don't
Yeah.
look at that as a result. I'm basically just basking in the fun part.
Also, it's different genre by genre of like what ways to best promote your music in modern day time. Like I feel with EDM and rap, it's very important to have a big like to focus on online presence nowadays. Um, and then when it comes to rock, metal, those kind of genres, it's good to focus on shows and band promotion, whatever, and certain other platforms like Bandcamp, whatever, Spotify.
I would hate to be a rock band and trying to make it. It's like
Yeah.
rock is dead. And hip hop killed it, honestly. But it wasn't that big of a triumph because rock music made itself so goddamn depressing.
Hmm.
You can look at rock music from hell, even the 90s, but especially the 80s and the 70s. Rock music was like, yeah, we're fucking jamming. I feel
Yeah.
good. Life is good. I'm gonna go fuck these bitches. Rock music used to talk about fucking the bitches, and now
Yeah.
rock music is nothing but I can't get bitches. And hip hop's there like, hey bro, we're having a good time partying out, we're vibing, getting the bitches over here.
Literally, yeah.
But I mean, it's also got the same shit of, oh, I want to kill myself music and all this
Oh,
other,
nowadays, yeah, yeah.
I
all these
love
fucking
horrorcore,
sad
man.
boy rappers and shit.
There's a.
I,
I feel when the wave of sad boy rap like that stuff started, I thought it was fine. But now a lot of those rappers are like a force. They don't are. They're not actually depressed or anything like that, or never
Oh,
been
none of them
depressed.
are. None of them
Yeah,
why
are.
not?
it's
Honestly, it
like
pisses me
a
off
lot of
because
them are faking it.
Trippy Red. I fucking followed him for a minute just to see what the fuck, like, how fans react to like famous people shit. Like, I hopped in his live one time and I seen all these fucking fans asking this dude, like, I guess he had dropped an album or some shit and like they thought he was depressed or some shit. Mind you, he's just on there smoking a blunt, laughing and shit, having fun or whatever. all
Yep.
his fucking fans are all asking him like, "Are you depressed? Why do you seem so depressed in these songs? Are you depressed, etc., etc." This man looks at all the questions and shit, and he just hits his blunt again. And he's just like, "Do I look depressed?" And just starts laughing and shit.
Literally, yeah. That's how it is.
Or actually, no, he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He said it in a fucking sarcastic ass tone. He was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm so depressed," and just went back to hitting his blunt.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys fuck with Mac Miller's horrorcore mixtape? His Delusional Thomas. Have you guys heard that?
I never heard that, but I do listen to horrorcore.
Dude, so it's Mac playing a character the entire time. The entire time he has his voice in like the octave or up, So he's like, he he has his voice pitched high, so that he's playing this character the whole time throughout the entire mixtape, and it is like young horrorcore Eminem reincarnate.
Was that one of his
young,
first albums?
It's an earlier mixtape. I think it sits in between a couple. I think it's like after Blue Slide Park somewhere. But
Okay.
he's young
Yeah,
as
what's up?
fuck
How
when
you
he makes,
doing?
but it's terrifying too, and it's terrifying in the way that I like horrorcore for that. It's like, oh god, you're being creative with how these evil, nasty things you're saying.
Yeah.